Hello. If you're watching this video, that means that your district has asked you to participate in the job analysis process. We're very excited to be working with you, and this video is intended to help answer some questions you might have about what job analysis is, how to fill out the job analysis questionnaire, and where you come in to that process. So I just mentioned these a little bit, but really the objectives for this short video will be to help you understand what a job analysis is and why we're asking for your help. And then secondly, for you to learn about the process of completing a job analysis questionnaire. A little bit of background about us. My name is Michael Katz. I'm a Senior Strategic HR Partner for EXMI, or Experience Management Institute. We're a Columbus, Ohio-based women-owned business, but we have employees across the country, and we've worked with over 300 school districts across the country on similar types of compensation job analysis processes just like this one. So we're very excited to be working with you all. So what is job analysis? It's really the process of studying jobs to kind of gather and synthesize information about job responsibilities, requirements, and conditions under which your work is performed. And so why is it important? Well, it helps build ownership over what your responsibilities actually are and what each position is responsible for. So it gives employees, all of you, the opportunity to share details about your work. What are your core responsibilities? What knowledge, skills, and abilities do you need every day that you're doing your job? And the easiest way to get this information is to ask you directly, the employees who are living and working your position on a daily basis. Why is it important? Well, as you all know, our jobs are always changing, always evolving. Sometimes your responsibilities may have things added to them. Sometimes you might have responsibilities taken away and shifted to someone else. And so this process helps us ensure that we can collect that up-to-date information about your position. In turn, we take that information and we update job descriptions. And this is really important because it helps organizations understand how their structure is currently operating. What are the key reporting relationships? What are the key job functions for each position? And it can also help districts recognize when there's overlap between responsibilities. So two positions might actually be performing the same work, and that might not be necessary. Or if there's holes in responsibilities where nobody's responsible for something and that needs to be corrected. So to collect this information, we typically send you what's called a job analysis questionnaire, or a JAQ. Oftentimes, this is an online form, although some districts prefer to have their employees complete it by hand. So look for information from your district or from us directly when we send an email to you containing the JAQ to learn more about how to do that and how to submit it back to us. So here's just a very brief picture of the process. So we're here in the first part where all of you, the employees, will complete a job analysis questionnaire. And then we'll use that and work with the district and their HR department to create updated job descriptions, which they'll then review for accuracy and make sure that everything is up to date and correct. So as I mentioned, we'll be collecting all that information from you all using a job analysis questionnaire. Each employee in the study will have the opportunity to complete one of these questionnaires, even if there are multiple people in the same role. And we do that because sometimes it's hard to think about everything you do on a daily basis. And so you might forget things and you might stress about that. We don't want you to stress too much about it. If there are a number of people in your role across the district, we'll be asking all of them or most of them to complete a job analysis questionnaire. And then we'll look at all of that information that everybody in your position reports and synthesize that when we update the job description. Again, the time frame for filling out the JAQ will be different for each district. So just keep an eye out for communications from your district or from someone at EXMI directly for when we're hoping to receive those questionnaires back filled out. So what information are we collecting? Well, first we start with just some basic demographic information: your name, your position and title at the district, your supervisor. Then we ask for a job summary. This is usually a 3 to 4 to 5 sentence paragraph about what it is you do at the district. Then we dive a little bit deeper into your essential job tasks and functions. So really, what are you doing on a daily and weekly basis? We also ask you, and I'll go into this in a little bit more detail in a couple minutes, we also ask you to separate your essential job tasks and functions by the percentage of time in a given week that you typically are spending doing that task. And I'll go into more detail here in a few minutes. We then ask what required education, licenses, or certifications you might need for the position. And again, this isn't what you personally have or what level of education you have. It's what you feel someone in your current position would need to be successful in their role. Similarly, what relevant prior experience someone might need to perform the job. Again, not what experience you have or how many years of experience you have, but how many years or relevant experience someone might need to perform the role adequately. Uh, Similarly, then, the knowledge and skills needed to perform the job. And then finally, we close out with the work environment, any physical demands of the job, and then if the position has any supervisory or budgetary responsibilities. And so for you all, this really gives you the opportunity to share and explain all of your tasks and expectations of your job. And then you get to help make sure that the job description for your role is accurately capturing everything that you do. And again, as some background, we mentioned that this information is used to help draft job descriptions, and that ties into a lot of different things around the organization. And so it helps with the recruiting hiring process to make sure that candidates know what types of tasks and responsibilities they are signing up for when they apply for a position. It can help with performance management and making sure that someone in a position is performing their role as they're supposed to. It can help with define compensation. If the current job descriptions are missing parts of the responsibility you have, then maybe those need to be updated and compensation structures can change as well. So it's really important that we collect this information as accurately as possible from all of you and then use that to help the organization move forward. So what does this mean for you? You have the opportunity to share and explain all of your work tasks and the expectations that your role has. So that could include any new tasks that you don't think are captured in the current job description, any changes that are recent or within the last few years to your work tasks or your environment. And you get to participate in this job analysis process that drives all these things we just talked about. So a few last tips before you go off to start completing the JAQ. First, when you're filling out the questionnaire and inserting your essential job tasks, really focus on the main tasks you do. So ask yourself, how do I spend my hours at work each day? And a tip that we've offered to a lot of people is that you can use your work calendar or your current job description as a resource to help prompt you for like, this is what I do, this is how I should word it. These main tasks are those for which you're spending at least 3 hours per week. So this should kind of be an overarching summary of your tasks each week. We don't want you to get into the nitty gritty where if you spend 5 minutes a week on something, that doesn't really need to be reported. It's really the main tasks that you're spending at least 3 hours a week performing. And again, I've mentioned this a couple times. This is not a review of you or your performance or your qualifications, but instead your opinion on what level of education, what level of qualifications someone else would need to succeed in this role at the district. Again, here, only include the job tasks associated with your primary job. So if you're doing any temporary or supplemental duties, don't include those in the job description. When you're adding up the percentages for your job tasks, they should equal 100%, even if you're a flexible or part-time worker. We want to know what you're doing 100% of the time that you're at work. I mentioned this before, but if you forget something, don't worry about it. Chances are that there will be a number of people in your position at the district who are filling out questionnaires, and we'll be able to synthesize that information together to make sure we've captured everything. Finally, at the end of the questionnaire, there is an additional comments field. So if there's anything that you feel hasn't been captured about your position in the rest of the questionnaire, feel free to type that in, and we do read all of those and make sure any information that's relevant there gets included when we're updating the job descriptions. We do have some additional resources available on our website where you found this video. There's an action verb list, a sample of which you can see here on the right of the screen. It can help you kind of fill out your essential tasks in a way that makes sense. And then we have an FAQ, a frequently asked questions page, that answers some additional questions about the job analysis process and the job analysis questionnaire that I might not have gone into in enough detail here. Finally, we have a help email that's there on the screen, jaqhelp@exmi.org, that you can reach out to us, and all of us here at EXMI are happy to answer questions and help you through the process. And so after finishing this video, hopefully you're prepared to complete your JAQ. It should take around 60 to 75 minutes, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. Um, but we really appreciate your help and your time doing this. And I hope I've been able to communicate how important it is for your district and your organization to provide all this information. Again, you can email us at that email address there, jaqhelp@exmi.org, if you have any questions. And again, we really appreciate your help. Good luck.